Welcome back to TXT Chat Time, guys. Well, guess what? This is actually TXT Chat Time 2.0. I'm not going to get into all the YouTube drama right now, but we're just going to ask you to subscribe to this new channel. We're going to be building it, so help us get to 1,000 subscribers. With that said, guys, guess what? It's senior trials time for the World Championship. So we're so excited, and we can't wait to tell you what we think is going to go down this week. Tom, what should we start with? The women?
Yes, let's start with the female sprints 100 and 200. But before we do, to second T, I felt like saying, if I'm not talk about track soon, mega bus. So much time has passed since you have seen us on this platform, but we have been keeping our eye on the ball and we can't wait to get down into what is happening for the senior trials and, of course, give you the TXT track time predictions. So let's
Yeah,
roll.
we definitely can't wait to give you, our thoughts. We see everybody out there dropping our videos, and we're like, oh my God, it's time for track. What's going on? So
Let's roll 100 meters.
roll. Women 100 meters. Trackies. What do you think? We have three of the fastest women in the world heading that lineup. And right now, what you see on your screen, you will see that we have Sharika Jackson 10.92, Shelly
10.67
yeah,
twice
and
this season.
this season, and Elaine Thompson 10.79. Now, as you can see, this is not their personal best. So this is times they've done so far this season heading into the trial. So Shelly is sitting on top right there with 10.67 twice. Now, what's interesting is that she said in Eugene that she'll be running the 100 and the 200, and now she said in Paris that she's not running the 100. But interestingly, she's on the starting list. So as it stands now, Shelly is there, so we have to include her in this list. What do you think, Tom? We have 10.92 so far, 10.67 twice, and 10.79. Who do you think?
I'm not even going to think. I'm going to go off the top of my head. I'm going to say Shelly, Sharika, Elaine in that order. And just to break it down, why Shelly's ready. So easily she is. I expect her to win the national trials, even just so that she has the title national champion. Shelly's competitive, so that will be something for her. And then Sharika is determined to win any means necessary. So I expect to see her going up, putting her best foot forward. She won Elaine Thompson-Herah once already this season in the 200 meters, and I expect her to.
But this is on the 200. This is the one.
I know. This is the 100 meters, and I expect to see her doing everything in her power in both the 1 and the 2 to finish ahead of Elaine Thompson-Herah. Now, Elaine is battling 2 injuries. She said, her long-standing Achilles injury is acting up, and then that rotator cuff injury that she complained about as well, that she picked up recently, is bothering her as well. So I see Elaine taking it easy and trying to qualify, and thus I'm putting her in 3rd place. But I just want her to not take it too easily, because we have a ripe young set of athletes that want to come up and usurp.
Talking about the youngsters, because I'm actually shocked that you put. I mean, if this was a 200, I could probably understand you putting Sharika ahead of Elaine, but in the 100, that to me is just crazy.
Yeah.
And yes, for me, this is how I see it. If Shelly enters the 100, she may do one or two things: either do 2 rounds or do all 3 rounds. But once she reaches that finals and she decides to run, she, I think, will want to say, I'm going to start my class on this field and win. Right? So I do have Shelly finishing first. Elaine, I have finishing second, simply because if you go back to Eugene, even if you take away times, that distance, unless Elaine rolls over and falls and breaks her foot, there's no way Sharika is making up that distance on Elaine for trials tomorrow. So even if, let me give you an example. Let's say Sharika gets down to 10.7. I still don't have her beating Elaine, because again, that distance in Eugene, that's no fluke. That's not a fluke race, and that's from a bad start from Elaine, right? So again, I have Elaine finishing second, and then Sherika I have coming in third. So pretty much for me, that's what I see happening. No, if Shelly does not turn up, I have Elaine winning, Sharika finishing second. But for me, these three will be unchallenged and they will, well, of course, Shelly already has her spot. But for them, the two of them, Sharika and Elaine, they definitely will have no issues getting a spot on the team to the World Championships.
Okay, good. I agree. And are we going to talk about the lesser placings at
Oh, yeah,
all?
yeah, yeah. Let me just pull up my screen a second because I want to show, um, exactly what's happening in terms of who entered for the
For the 100 meters, yes, because I want to get into the lesser placings, because remember, there's that important, as you're bringing up your screen, there's that important fourth place spot or third, depending on if Shelly enters the finals, because Jamaica will be sending 4 persons to the were the one in the 100 meters to the world championships. So we're searching for the fourth person.
Right. So on screen right here, you can clearly see who will be entering, who has entered thus far. And I think it's already closed, considering that the competition starts tomorrow. So this is what it looks like. We have 32 entrants in total, right? And
It's interesting to
something
see Kiara
interesting,
Grant there. She hasn't raced much this season. That's interesting.
something interesting I wanted to know before we get to the lesser persons is that if you look, you can see Elaine, then Shelly, then Sharika, then after that you see Kevona. What I'm thinking is that because as everyone would know that Shelly is the world leader, so I'm thinking that the first three places were actually done by the world ranking. Right now, Elaine is ranked number one, Shelly is ranked number two, and Sharika third. Right, but then from fourth down, I think they ranked based on times. So it's weird. I've never seen them do the list like this. Usually, it's either the world rank who was run the fastest time in the world thus far, which would place Shelly on top. So I've never really seen the list pretty much split, but I'm guessing that's what they did here. But anyway, let's just take a look at fourth place go down in terms of who we expect to feature.
So we're doing, I just want us to, I mean, there can be an upset coming from any angle, but let's just focus on Kevona Kemba and Brianna Williams for a second.
No, I definitely think we can throw Natalia White in because she's been looking good. Shakura Wallace also. Oh my God, there's so many. Ravona Burchell. That last spot, Brenna has not separated herself from me thus far this season. Yes, she came to Jamaica, and yes, she dusted those same athletes. But again, everybody's looking to peak her on trial time, and we're expecting them to go much faster. So if we're saying 10-9, maybe the base, maybe,
Okay.
right? These athletes can get there.
Okay, so this is my take on it. Brenna is battle strong. She has been, she has been competing internationally against strong ladies all season. Kemba has returned to the form that we like to see her in. I think it's going to come down to Kemba and Brenna, because Kemba again is now in the form of her life. Her awesome start. She should be able to hold out to place in the top 5.
Brenna also
I
has
have, Brenna Williams for fourth, Kemba strong fifth. It could go either way though.
This is my thing. What beats Kevona is her start. I was looking at, and you guys know, because even when she ran that 1095, we talked about whether or not, my feelings changed based on which school she went to. And I'm like, no, my feelings haven't changed. She still has an atrocious start. And I think that if she wanted to feature in these trials, then her start would have needed to be fixed. And I just don't think that she has it in her to run back against this field. I just don't think so. So unfortunately, Kevona, please, I'm begging you, go wherever you need to go, do whatever you need to do to make sure that start is fixed, so that you can come back strong for next year and get a spot on the team individually, because at the end of the day, you want to represent individually, right? Natalia White again is also creeping in there, looking really strong, right? And as you said, Kemba, I'm not really seeing Shakura Wallace this year really stand out to me. So I'm not really sure if she'll surprise me. Maybe there's always somebody that surprises. So maybe she'll spring a surprise. But I agree with you that it should be Brianna from Kemba downward. Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it. Track is the top three pick for me and T are
Well,
Shelly
let's
Ann.
do top four because we're not sure if Shelly will.
Okay, so my top four would be Shelly Ann, Sharika Elaine, and Brianna in that order.
And mine would be Shelly, Elaine, Sharika, and Brianna.
As
With
well. Good.
Kemba right there. And I'm just thinking that Brianna better be careful because if she slips, that spot will get snatched.
Right, and I also want to add that I've covered Kemba extensively, and when I covered her during the NCAA championships, I mentioned her backdrop on on her Twitter profile. It does say Paris 2024, so you see that Kemba has dreams. She has big dreams, and I'm expecting to see her work towards delivering on her dreams. So
Yeah, for
I'm
sure, these
expecting a big
athletes will be
performance
making
from
the relay
Kemba.
team. For sure, though, these athletes will be making the relay team. I actually am gonna throw Kevona in there. Hopefully, she can, snatch. Even though I think they allow 8 now, right? I don't know if Jamaica will be taking 8. Maybe they'll just continue with the 6, right? So I think though that they will get their first berth at what it's like to represent Jamaica at the senior level.
Right. So moving on to the 100 meters, are we doing females and males?
Yeah, let's do the man.
Okay, so the 100 meters for men. Bring up some top contenders for me. I want to
Okay.
talk about that little young guy, Blake. He has been doing so well.
All right, let's bring up the prelims first, and we have interestingly we have 26 entrants, which is again, as I said, very interesting. But let me just bring that up on the screen so you guys can see. But I mean, other than Oblique separating himself from the rest and
You
Akeem
think?
Blake and
Mhm.
Akeem Blake, everybody else is pretty much around there somewhere. Earlier in the season, Julian Fort had looked like he had something to give.
And I also want to
Something to
mention
provide.
that Oblique and Akeem have been very consistent
Mhm.
with their performances.
With
So
their,
it's not
they've been improving each run.
each run, and it's not like a one-off good run. So every time they compete, they seem to be improving, getting better and better.
Mhm.
So I do not I this list I have I'm still gonna vote for Oblique over Akeem. There's just something about him. So I think that's my order for top four or top three.
Actually, I'm gonna go with the same exact order I'm seeing here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the
go with
same order. Oblique, Akeem, and
Akeem.
Johan for third. I think Johan can hold on for third.
Yeah, I just don't think anybody else has stepped up. Again, Julian had looked good. Nigel had looked good at one point, and I thought, okay, maybe he would be coming into his own by now. I haven't been seeing it yet, but I know that for sure. Oblique, Akeem, and Johan definitely wants to
Yeah,
not go out so soon. He still wants to, represent Jamaica on on the
exactly.
on the global scene. But there's somebody that has been looking really good. That's from back maybe 2013, 2014 ish. Um, that would be Kamar Bailey Cole. He has been looking extremely good this season. But my thing with we didn't get a chance to do a video on it, but I don't like when athletes do this where they run one round and they pull out. I don't know why he pulled out, but it's always good to test yourself to see if you can replicate, what you did in your heat or, even get better. And I just don't like the fact that every time I see him run, it's like he pulls out of each final. And I'm like, how do you know what you're going to be able to give in each round if you're not testing yourself? So that's my only, I guess, grows with Kemar Bailey Cole, but he looks like he's an upsetter. So right now, he looks like that person for me that may trump Johan Blake if he's not on his P's and Q's. And remember, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Akeem Blake, Johan Blake, and Kemar Bay could train under the same coach, you Michael Frater, if I'm not mistaken. So
It's
it would be very
right.
interesting to see.
Right. They're training partners. It's interesting, but I expected to see, at least one or two of the juniors competing here on the male side of things, because when the female side of things, there's a huge separation. On the male side of things, there's a, smaller separation. So I expected to see, even like a Brian Lavelle competing. He did compete last year, and interestingly, he's not on the list this year. So none of the juniors are representing this year.
Because I think this year there's been a clear distinction or clear separation between the seniors and the juniors. Last year, the juniors had a chance of maybe slipping in with a 10-1-5 time or something like that. This year, the seniors have stepped it up, and the juniors can't compete with that, at least not yet. So it's okay to go and compete in the junior trials and focus on World Juniors. And it's the same thing on, well, I don't necessarily think it's the same thing on the female side. I think Tina and Brianna, if she was running the 100, because we know she's not doing the 100, but if Brianna Listen was doing the 100, I felt like they were in 10, they would be in sub 11 shape. Sub 11. Is sub 11? Yeah, sub 11 shape.
Sub 11.
Right. So they'll be in sub 11 shape right now. So I'm thinking that they would have been able to test those the lesser tier of the senior athletes. My only thing is that they'll pretty much have to be going guns out in every round. Whilst they, with the juniors, they could run maybe some place close to 12 and still make it. In each round for the senior, they'll have to be pretty much running close to the personal best every time, and that's the only difference for me. But I felt like a one or two of them could have entered, but again, it's fine. Elaine, Shelly, Sharika, they're on a whole different tier. You're not trying to stress yourself. We saw what happened to Boma. Yeah, it's
Right.
best to not run against these people.
So this one is going to come down to the battle of the Blakes, Akeem Blake and Johan Blake, and Obik Seville, who has been doing awesome all
I think it's a
season.
battle of Seville and Blake. I don't think, and that is a younger Blake. I
No, I
can't
mean,
Blake.
I mean for the top three positions, because that's what we're looking at. So I'm just
Okay.
saying the battle of the Blakes and Seville for
And
our top three.
Seville, we talked about him going sub 10 sub 9-9, sorry, and he did. And what was so surprising to me about that run is that he actually looks like he had much more in the tank to give. And I'm like, can I wander and dream a little and hope for a 10-7? I see the Americans, not a 10-7, a 9-7, sorry. I see the Americans out there hoping and praying and saying, oh, it's a fluke run, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ain't nothing Jamaicans do is a fluke. That's for sure. So
You
I see
know,
them still shoving him down to maybe 10th ranked in the world based on, how he may perform. And I'm like, this guy's gonna come out and surprise y'all. But anyway, that's for later. But for now, I'm just thinking he looks like he may have a 9-7 in him.
right. So TXT track time called Oblique Seville for as early as the top of the year. We called Oblique Seville for sub 10, and he delivered. Akeem Blake was a big surprise. We're happy to welcome him to the sub 10 family as well, and we expect Johan Blake to also come out and show a strong showing. I just want to add that Johan has been running well the first part of his race. He fades in the last 20 meters, so if he can fix whatever is going on there, he should be able to represent well. And again, he's battle strong, so he should be I don't want to doubt his capabilities, and he will be of all these contenders, he should be the one that will be able to manage the rounds the best. So I'm not counting him out, even though we have athletes like Akeem Blake and Oblique Seville that are looking so much younger and better at this time. So that's my top three. So we're moving on to the female 200 meters.
Well, no,
We're
we're
going
not gonna touch.
200.
We're not gonna do that yet because that's not coming up tomorrow. I'm thinking that we should just focus on the events that are coming up tomorrow. Interestingly, let's just wrap back a bit. Let me just share my screen with you guys because right now, guess what's out? I was waiting to see if we would be able to get the recording right on time with the start list being out, but that didn't happen. But they're out now for the woman 100 meters. So let's just jump into that really quick and look at that. Let's see what
Okay,
the
so
start
let
list
us
looks
see.
like. Right. So right now you see we have heat one. We have Elaine is in heat one right off the bat. And I think, yes, lane four, as you can see coming down, lane four is the preferred lane, right? So we have Elaine in the well, not the preferred lane, but I guess they call it the seeded lane, right? So she's in the seeded lane, and she has for company Natasha Kiara and Shakura Wallace as well. Oh, and Brandy Hall, she's from Edwin Allen. But, from this heat, I do see Shakura Wallace, Elaine, Natasha, Kiara. How much are they taking? Let's see what they say here. Top three. Okay. So we're taking top three. So we have Elaine. I'm going to go with Elaine, Shakura, and Natasha. I think Kiara can get in as well, hopefully, with one of those fastest finishers times. Let's jump into what do you
Heat
think?
two, yes, that's my pick as well for Heat one.
Mm-hmm.
Let us see. In Heat two, we have Shelly and Fraser Price. Need I say 10-6-7? Brianna Williams,
Brianna,
Brianna
wow.
Williams, and I am not sure I'm feeling about Janelle Smith. I'm not sure what type of shape she's in.
Not sure
Or
what shape, but
Ramona Burchell. Burchell has been looking very good, so that would
Mhm.
be my third pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
go with
Shelly, Brianna, and Ramona
yeah. And Jodie looks like she's onto something as well. So yeah, but those top three I agree with as well.
easily.
Let's go into
So
heat three. We have
Heat
Sharika.
three.
Heat three, Sharika, Shamira. Shamira looks really well, she jumps between the hurdles and the 100 hurdles and the 100. The hurdles, I think, is her better event, but she may be able to spring a surprise and make it into the next round as well. So we have Sharika, Kemba, we have Shamira. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that three. I'm gonna go with Sharika, Kemba, and Shamira Williams
Yeah,
for the top
that's
three.
my top three. And then Heat four. Is that
Yeah,
the final heats?
yeah, that's the final
And
heat.
Natasha should be able to make. Let us see who we have. Oh, this is
Natasha is in
Kevona.
lane seat.
Okay, so we have Kevona. Uh,
We have Natalia. Natalia as well is gonna make it.
it's kind of hard because this is a kind of even Steven Heat. Ashanti
Not
Moore,
really, not really, because
Chris
Ashanti hasn't been showing anything much this year either.
Chris
She
Tanya Williams. I'm not sure where she is as far as
yeah, most of these people, if you check the American track league, you see that they actually do enter, and they haven't been really posting times or doing anything impressive thus far, or close to what we have seen Kevona do. So I do think Kevona actually does
have the edge here.
stick out, yeah, in this seat, and Natalia as well. And I'm not gonna pick a third. I'm just gonna leave the third up in the smoke.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I agree as well because again, this is more even this heat. So we have Kevon and Natalia advancing from heat four.
Right.
So
So
what are we moving on to?
yeah, we're gonna jump into. I think I'm just gonna jump straight into the women's 400.
200 meters, 400.
Right, 400. We're not gonna do the 200 because the 200 is not tomorrow, so we're not gonna focus on events that are not tomorrow. So let's just do the the women's 400. I think I thought the women's 400. No, this is the women's 400 hurdles. Oh no, so we don't have the 400 tomorrow. No, we don't.
Okay, so
All
do
right. So
you
we can look at the boys under 20 then under 20.
the juniors? Okay,
Yeah.
let's jump straight into them. All right,
Let's see
heat
who's
one. I see Javon Newby from Kingston College. Remember that awesome
yes,
running at
he
champs?
is a standout. He's definitely
Okay,
coming on this seat for sure.
so let us
Let's
just
see
choose
we're
the one
taking
standout person.
we're taking
And
two from each heat. So
okay,
let's just choose one. Yeah, they're taking two, so we can go with one.
so mine is Javon
Javan,
Newby.
Javan. I think it's Javan Newby. I'm
Okay,
not
let's
sure,
go with
Javan.
him.
Please forgive us.
And heat two, how can you not choose DeAndre Daly?
Yeah,
Okay, heat three,
Brian
Brian
Levine,
Lavelle.
mm-hmm.
Heat four,
Boaji.
Buaja and Krumer. Heat five, Sandre Davison. Again, remember, my take on him. Very talented. He's going to get somewhere. He just needs a good
All right,
coach.
and I'm gonna throw in a few other names just around the athletes. I think David Lynch also. Let's see, Adrian Kerr. We haven't really seen him outside of the 200 this season, so hopefully he can, do something really good going into the trials. But let's see. But these athletes should come out and, again, move successfully to the next round, and that's the semifinals. Based on this, I don't think we're actually having a prelims for the girls. So there will be no under 20 100-meter prelims for the girls. There are not enough entries. So they're just going to move straight into the semifinals. That's usually what happens when there are not enough entrants. So yeah, well, that covers it then, Trackies. We have pretty much given you our
Day
preview,
one predictions.
day one,
For
and
day
preview
one,
and day one predictions. Yeah.
expect to see, well, in my opinion, Shelley and Fraser Price blazing, blazing. And
And
I'm looking
Trackies,
at,
just know that our predictions for this meet are only for this meet, right?
yes,
Going
this
into
has nothing to do with the World
Denmark.
Championships, where we expect to see Elaine Thompson-Herah rounding into form as she usually does later in the season. But for now, the Shelley and Fraser Price will dominate tomorrow's
No, let me
competition.
tell you something. Elaine is one of those little sleeping, those people that surprise you, right? Don't be surprised if Elaine pulls off something, because Elaine does not like to lose, especially, in my opinion, to Shelley, right? She does not like to lose. So don't be surprised if Elaine pulls off a surprise win for tomorrow, because the reason we're not expecting her to win is not because we don't think she's not good enough, but because we don't think she's ready yet. However, I wouldn't be surprised if I see something surprising tomorrow. And
Even
not
so,
tomorrow,
Trackers,
when
I
it goes
want
into
Elaine to preserve
the
herself for when it really counts. And I'm really not expecting the shape that Shelley is in, the what we just saw Shelley and Fraser Price do. I'm not expecting Elaine Thompson here to try to go out and compete with that. The aim of the game
I
is to
do. I expect
qualify.
her to compete. I expect her to
Yes.
compete.
And I expect her to work on qualifying and then figure out everything else after that.
Yeah. But I do expect her to, if Shelly is there, push and try to get for that win, or go for that win. But let's see. Trackies, sound off in the comment section below. As usual, as we said, we're building TXT Track Time 2.0. So hit that subscribe button and get us to 1,000 subscribers really quick and fast. Tam?
I'm Tam. There's nothing more to say. Just subscribe all the way. Of course, we built a platform already, and now we're trying to build TXT Track Time 2.0. We appreciate, all the comments all the feedback. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. So feel free to comment in the comment section below, and of course, subscribe. I'm Tam.
Oh, and don't forget, tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell us who you think, will make it to the next round, and who you think will actually win the entire thing. And what we're going to be doing as well, I think I'm going to be able to hopefully join in. We can have a watch party together where all of us sit down. No, me not stream. Me not stream the trials. Let's get that straight. But we can have a watch party together where we can all sit down amongst our TVs and watch and enjoy the process together. But let's see how that goes for the coming days. MT, we'll catch you in another one.